So this was our take at CrossFit. What CrossFit means at the moment, how Pakistan perceives it. We went through Bilal Tariq's journey, who represented CrossFit in Pakistan, and he got represented CrossFit in the Open Games. And we also talked about the platform they're bringing about in regards to raising awareness in CrossFit in general. And we also discussed over the athletes that are wanting to go further in their careers when it comes to CrossFit Games. So I hope this take at CrossFit was helpful for everybody to understand CrossFit better. And this is your final take and the take back for CrossFit. Let's go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, today's topic is very close to my heart. It's something that I've always wanted to bring upon. It's going to be about CrossFit. And today's guests also have a really close inclination towards us. They've had a CrossFit journey of themselves, and they have actually competed in the CrossFit Games. So, and we're also going to be talking about a recent startup that they've started to raise the awareness in Pakistan for CrossFit. So, without further ado, I give over the mic to Bilal Tariq.
Hi, Anas. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Bilal Tariq, founder and CEO of MatrixFit and MatrixFit Games. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Nice. And with Bilal, we have Khalid, who's also the marketing head of MatrixFit Games. And if you could just tell us a bit about yourself and MatrixFit Games itself.
Anas, thanks a lot for having us on the podcast. Very briefly, as far as the games go and as far as CrossFit goes, I started this journey about 7 odd years ago when Bilal had started CrossFit out of his garage gym. Fast forward to where we are today. We've transitioned from just a garage gym to now having full-fledged sports events across the city. And hopefully the aim from here is to go national as well.
That's interesting. So, can you tell us about how you guys are lining up the events and what kind of events do you guys have in play for future and the past that you have done so far?
We started off last year with a small event at MatrixFit's home ground, which is Shapes in Karachi. And we hosted 2 games during then. We had 1 games for the fitness community. Then we had a second event, which was aimed at corporates. And then we did what was our largest event after that, which was for school kids back in September. That was at a different location. It was a much bigger space. We had about 8 schools participate, roughly about 300 kids come in to take part. And the idea is to see games at this level haven't really been done in the country, especially for sports that are very under the radar like ours. While we're not strictly CrossFit, yes, that is where we've taken the inspiration from. But our whole idea is to make these games inclusive for a lot of people. So, when we were talking about the corporate games or the school games, we had corporate citizens as well as kids come in who weren't part of sports teams or didn't go to the gym regularly. So the idea was to scale down workouts for them so that they could take part in a healthy competitive environment.
So, how was the feedback that you guys got from the games that you've conducted so far?
I think it's been overwhelming and it's been fantastic. Each event that we've done has been a fantastic learning curve for us. Each event has taught us something new, and that's helped us push ourselves and challenge ourselves more. In fact, I'd like to ask you what your experience was like at the last games we had, since you were one of our competitors.
Oh yeah, it was amazing actually. Like hormones are kicking in and everything. So like you're doing the WODs. I mean, I feel like the way it was organized was really nice because we were told about the WODs. We were instructed about what the workouts are going to be and how the awareness was raised gradually and how open OS, I was in touch with OS. So he was really open towards, bringing me on as a community partner as well. And, trying to increase the awareness in regards to CrossFit and bringing more people in. I really like that. It was really welcoming. Plus, in regards to the standards as well, I felt like it was like, for the first time, I felt like in Pakistan, the standards are to the mark. So that was nicely done. And when it comes to competing, it was an amazing host. The energy was really real. So that was something. And the athletes that came up, that was really surprising to me because I wasn't like, honestly, for me, it was, although in CrossFit it's about beating yourself, but deep down inside, it was all about coming first because I was doing good time in the WDs. I was doing good time, and but when I was competing, I saw athletes that I didn't even know came up. Hayden came up, and I was like, "Wow, this dude, okay, is he competing? Is he competing in pro?" So that was something. But yeah, I think my experience was really nice, and how you guys brought everything together, the equipment and everything, the area, and the atmosphere, the vibe was really energetic, really engaging. So yeah. So what's your take, Bilal, on the event that you guys pulled off, the feedback that you guys got from the athletes? Uh, was it up to your expectations? And also, how, because bringing an event like this is not an easy thing to do. So your team, what struggles did you guys have to go through to bring this about? Would you like to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I could go on all day about all the questions that you've asked. In fact, maybe the day might be too small for it too. But yeah, it's been pretty epic. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I think it's been amazing how many different twists and turns it's taken to reach to this point. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I always aspire to host these kind of games or bring competition to Pakistan at some level. I think even what we do at MatrixFit from the start, when it was back in my garage, back till this date, even each workout that we do is has a competitive element to it. We try to create that setting before the class starts, before the workout starts, because I think it just ignites emotion within human beings that then help them go about their regular lives in a much stronger and more passionate way. So I think in the back of my heart, I've always wanted to do this. At least for the past 3 to 5 years, I've been thinking about it, but it's been something that, like you said, it's not it. The scope of it is so uh, massive that I was almost too scared to do it. Um, but fast forward to what happened earlier this year with the Nationals, you know, it was like Khalid said, it was very overwhelming for us to see the response that we got. We we anticipated it to be quite something very different and successful, but we never anticipated it to be this impactful, and
Yeah.
I think it took all of us by a little bit of surprise that this what we've provided essentially is something that people actually want, right? And now we have a responsibility to keep pushing the needle forward for the people, for the communities, for the athletes, for the industry, which in itself is a huge responsibility. So it was very overwhelming to see the experience. It was great to see the positive energy, especially at a time where the country is suffering through a lot of difficulties. So that shift in mindsets, shift in body language, all of that was very, very encouraging for us. Um, and like you said, it was also about giving people like yourselves who are exploring their athletic careers to understand or to have a platform where they can come and better themselves. Going back to when I was competing or when I was starting my journey in CrossFit or competitive space, there was no platform. Even for me to do the open, I had to build a gym at home because we didn't have. I mean, I remember Khalid was one of my judges, I had to ask structure to give me a barbell and bumper plates, so I could do the workout in my driveway, because nowhere in the city was there a space where we could potentially do that kind of a workout, like in a gym setting. So that experience kind of is the reason why all of what we do at MatrixFit and now MatrixFit Games is because maybe someone like you who has a lot of capabilities athletically but doesn't have the right platform, maybe your talent goes to waste, but it shouldn't. You should get the opportunity to completely and utterly exploit that talent, because that's how you bring change. um, so I think that passion and that kind of vision is what is the reason why we are doing the games. And now coming to the question about how difficult it was, and yeah, it's not easy. We can't sugarcoat it. We can't say it's easy. The first thing I knew that when we did the one that Khalid said that last year when we did the games, did you do them?
Yeah, the first that was teams.
Yeah. So you were there? Yeah, so that one was something that was the initial games that I did, and that time there was no team, right? But the moment that games ended, I knew that in order for this to move forward, we need to have a team. And I think a week later, I set up a meeting with a bunch of people, out of which now we have the 6 that are in the team. And in itself, forming a team, aligning everyone together, then coming together to do the work, it's not easy, right? But I think what is great is that all of the people that are in the team, they all share the same passion, that A, they want to bring some kind of positive change in the country. B, they feel passionately about sports. Khalid is from a cricket background. Oves is from a cricket background. The rest of them are very, very passionate fitness enthusiasts. So I think that underlying passion for doing something in sports is what kind of helps us get through the harder days. Otherwise, a sane person would quit because he's sane, or this, because it is hard. It's not easy. But yeah,
And I think I can relate to that because from the athlete's perspective, as I was saying, it was well organized. I had OS. He kept messaging me regarding being the community partner, and then in regards to bringing the guests over, there was another guy who was taking note of that, and then there was that, I think, lottery thing you guys had for the guest, one of the guest people as well. There was something that you can bring. Every athlete is allowed to bring 2 guests over.
yeah.
Yes.
And so you had strength partners.
Right.
So I felt like it was really well thought out.
Yeah. So again, I think the ideas of having the partners and to kind of to engage as many people together is to try to expand the pie, right? Rather than eating from the same pie. The only way how we look at the growth happening is by inclusivity. And I think that's why from the first day when we sat together to come up with the games, we never looked at it as an event. We look at it as a platform. It's not an event company. It's a platform which exists to bring athletes, to bring gyms, to bring other businesses that are in the industry all together, and then put them in front of the entire world, so that the rest of the world can come and look at this platform and its contributors, and then connect with them. So we need to have partners like yourselves or anyone else that we worked, given that you also share the same passion, mission, and values that we do. Partnerships are tricky. So while it's important to have those collaborations, it's also very important to us that whichever ones we have share the same values that we do. Otherwise, you miss the plot.
So what's your take on, like, I'd say, compared to the three events you guys have lined up, the corporate, the inter-school, and then the one that was this one, the main one of the athletes, like, so in this regard, from the pro category, or even from pro male, pro female, what's your take on the people who won, and how do they, specifically speaking for the people who were from Pakistan, because I have that uh, I have that thought in my mind myself. So the people who came on the podium or were close to the podium, how do you see them progressing forward in their career in regards to CrossFit or actually competing in the CrossFit Games?
So I'm not really sure what you're asking me. Are you asking me how I felt about their performances?
Yeah. So let me turn the question in a very more structured way. So the athletes who came up on the
Yeah.
podium,
Yeah.
do they have a platform to go forward and actually compete in the games, or how do you see them progressing forward and actually representing Pakistan as you
Sure.
did?
So I think that's the whole idea again of the games as well. We don't just want it to be like oh ये games हो गई या event हो गया अब आप अगले साल हम आपको मिलेंगे, right? The idea is कि आपने ये event किया है, ठीक है, आपको जिस तरह आप कह रहे हो कि you wanted to be first, right? But then you saw the people that were there and you were like, where did they come from, right? So now it comes down to you, right? It's not like you don't have gyms in the city. It's not like you don't have people that are providing training programs in the city. It's not like you don't have those kind of accessibilities that 10 years ago didn't exist. So what we're trying to encourage now is people like yourself and anyone else that got inspired by these games. What they should essentially do is they should go back to their drawing boards. They should go and train again. They should train better. And they should then improve their craft so that next year, when we inshallah have the games again, they can come and excel. There are different ways of getting better, right? You can find a good coach, you can find a good gym, and that's why also I think we have community partners. The idea for the community partners isn't just to kind of announce that, oh, Anas or ATP is our community partner. ATP has to stand up after the games. Sorry, TAP, my bad. TAP has to stand up after the games and say, कि यार, how can I work with the MatrixFit Games to create an ecosystem within my own realm, so that TAP can generate athletes that then come to the games next year and win. The same way MatrixFit will now do for its athletes. The same way TriFit should do. The same way Dynamic should do. So these gyms that are already in the system, I think at the end of the day, you all have to also come together and realize that there is this platform that is being created. It's going to happen year on year. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get better. It's going to get harder. The level will keep going up of the competition.
That's what keeps it exciting.
No, that it will, right? Because I can guarantee you this much, that what we're planning for next year in terms of the workouts and everything, that will already be a level ahead, right? So
Psyched for it.
So you as the, let's say, owner of TAP or TriFit or whoever it is, you have a responsibility towards generating and creating talent now. And as a result, what will happen eventually, and this is what the vision is, right? That you create an ecosystem in the country that is 360 degrees. Right? It's not just कि हाँ ये हो गई games हो गए, अच्छा फिर आप भूल जाओ एक साल के लिए, फिर आप आ जाओ साल बाद. All parties, all partners, they need to come together and move the discussion forward, right? And that's why I said earlier that the partners that we have, it's very important that we have the right partners who share the same values as us, who want to do the same thing, who want to move the needle forward and not just say कि हाँ यार हम कम्युनिटी पार्टनर थे या हम ये पार्टनर थे और फिर उसके बाद गेम्स हुई और हम
Not just for the recognition.
बस बैठ गए,
Not
right?
just for the recognition.
क्या उसके what's gonna happen?
There's a bigger goal in mind.
Of course.
And
And so, when we talk about inclusivity, Anas, it's not just the inclusivity in the workouts and different levels of people competing. Like Bilal said, it's about bringing on partners who can move forward with us and help us establish and develop this ecosystem, develop athletes, bring them to a level where they can compete. International, yes, that's the goal one day, but even compete at a national level.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were surprised to see some of those,
yeah, because
some
I
of those
haven't seen
athletes.
CrossFit at a national level as of yet. I mean,
Sure.
the question I was about to get to was, what's your take on the current awareness that Pakistan has for CrossFit? I kind of feel like sometimes there are misconceptions, what CrossFit actually is. So what's your take on, the current awareness that Pakistan has about CrossFit?
Khalid, what's your take on CrossFit, mate? You've been with me for
7 years.
almost
Almost
going
8
into the
years,
8
yeah.
years.
Yeah. As the only program I've ever stuck to this long, other than, say, playing a sport. So I'll tell you what my opinion has been of CrossFit. And I'll also tell you some of the opinions I've heard from a lot of people who've come and joined us, people from outside the sport. So when I came in and I started training with Bilal, the one thing that I really loved was that every day was different. He would mix it up really well. And the one thing that really worked was, as MatrixFit as a brand grew, Bilal as the head coach and the person in charge of programming grew immensely as well. Right? The programming changed to a level where it always kept us developing. So when I told you earlier when we were having a chat offline, when people see what we do, they kind of get freaked out and they're like, this is not for me. What they don't realize is this, we didn't do this on day one. We've spent the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years getting to this level. And there's no reason that, someone else can't either.
Because there are versions, right? You have
There are versions.
foundation, you have scale, you have
Absolutely. And I think,
about it.
I think I'm not going to speak about all of the gyms across the country because, there are numerous ones, but this is the only one where I've actually seen a proper foundations class where we've had people come into the foundations class, learn the basics, and then graduate into coming to your regular classes. Before that, Bilal's been very sort of clear about saying, no, get the foundation done, graduate to this. Because you can't exactly, jump into this, especially if you're a newbie who's had no experience. Right? You need a little bit of clear guidance because, in my experience, gyms here don't guide you properly. Right? Desi trainers, unfortunately, are Desi trainers. That level of training and physical education doesn't exist. Coming back to the perception of CrossFit, my perception developed from there. I didn't know what CrossFit was till I joined Bilal. So my perception kept developing while I was there. I did a few games in the beginning as well. But Bilal knows this, and everyone in the community that we're part of knows this. Personally, I'm not a fan of those events, of those competitions, because I'm not geared to taking part in them. Right? If I were to put it bluntly, my strength is strength. I love moving a barbell around. And that's one of the reasons, again, that I think kept my interest here with MatrixFit, right? Because Barbell Club was introduced a few years ago, which focuses on Olympic lifting. That's a very technical class, right? It's not about coming in there and tossing a barbell around and, pulling up some weight. No, it's a very technical class. Right? It takes a lot of patience. The opinions that you would generally hear from outside is that it's unsafe. It's not unsafe.
If you go about the right patterns.
Yeah, but then that's the case with any sport.
That's true.
Right? You don't run properly, that's unsafe. Right? You don't swim properly, that's unsafe. You don't play a sport properly, that's unsafe. Right? So it's not unsafe, not at all.
The saying that it is out there that CrossFit is injury prone or there's so much risk involved. What's your take on that as an athlete of yourself?
Before Bilal gets to that, if I may say, I'm not an athlete. I'm just somebody who does this to keep fit. 8 years on, I am happy to say I've never been injured once during a MatrixFit workout. Not a single time. I've had injuries in the past, cricket related, bad movement, bad standards.
You've progressed further from like foundations to the level that
Yeah, absolutely.
And from
Injury
that-
free,
Nice, that's nice.
thankfully. So yeah,
Yeah. So listen. I think at the end of the day, there is a lot of misconception around CrossFit as well. Okay, everyone likes to use the word CrossFit, but they don't really understand, in my opinion. And this is also, like Khalid said, I was also this person. It's taken me 10 years almost in this sport to now be sitting here and tell you, okay, what CrossFit now means to me or what it is. Previously, it meant very differently to me. Previously, CrossFit meant doing a WOD every day, competing at high intensity in my workouts all the time, every time, not doing cycles, any strength cycles, not doing any gymnastic cycles, not doing any aerobic cycles, not doing any bodybuilding cycles, just doing workouts, because that's what CrossFit looked like, right? And I think that is what people still think CrossFit is, but that's not what CrossFit is. And this is also even people at MatrixFit. Just yesterday, someone was like, we should do more snatches because we come to you because you do CrossFit. So I was like, so you think everything else we're doing right now is not CrossFit? And then they were like, no, this is just strength training, right? So you have to understand that what actually CrossFit means before you get into the debate of who's doing CrossFit, who's not. Okay? CrossFit, the beauty of the sport is that there is no definition in it. There is no box where you say, ye sab kar lo, to tum CrossFit kar loge, right? You can go play sports, you can go play cricket, you can then go for a swim, and then you can go for a run, and you can say, I'm training for a CrossFit event. And I'll say, makes sense, right? So that's what it is. So now there are certain CrossFit specific movements that were developed through the sport that identify as CrossFit. So whenever you see someone doing burpee box jumps or dumbbell snatches or wall balls, suddenly your mind goes, oh, ye to CrossFit kar raha hai. Yes, he is doing a movement or she's doing a movement that has been generated through CrossFit, or someone you see doing kipping toes to bars or kipping pull-ups. So you suddenly think कि ये CrossFit, सही ये CrossFit कर रहे हैं. That's not the case. That's not really what it means. It just means that they're doing a movement that was generated through the sport. Now, if you keep doing that every day, it's not going to help you. You have to break that movement down to get better, right? So what we try to do, and the reason why, again, it's not like we say कि हमने जो भी किया है वो सही किया है. बहुत सी गलतियां मैंने की हैं as a coach, as a programmer. A lot of people have been injured through our program. It's normal. When you do a physical activity, you will get injured. There is a chance of it. No one can say कि तुम यहाँ से सीढ़ियाँ नीचे चलते हुए भी तुम इंजर हो सकते हो, गाड़ी में बैठ के गाड़ी चलाते हुए भी इंजर हो सकते हो. फिर ये सब से इतना डर लगता है तो भाई घर में बैठो, निकलो ही ना घर से. ठीक है, तो आप जब एक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी कोई भी किस्म की करोगे तो उसमें थोड़ा सा रिस्क होगा.
But the question that is there this CrossFit more injury prone compared to other competitive sports?
What does that mean? What do you mean by more injury prone?
Supposedly, from a layman perspective, if I'm looking at snatches, or if I'm looking at the specific CrossFit movement that you were just explaining that came out of the sport
Yeah.
gradually. So in those certain movements, when a person looks at them, because there's a certain time cap, and then there's there's a record you have to set. So in the thick of the things, there's a word out there that in the thick of the things, people or athletes have become injury prone, or in that regard have been more exposed to injuries. So in that certain case scenario, because everything's happening so fast.
Yeah, that is the responsibility of the person that is leading the class to conduct it properly. It comes down to you. If you are the one that is leading that program, it is your responsibility to understand the audience. If you have a audience of 15 people, then it is your responsibility to understand who out of those 15 people need to be pushed, who need to be scaled back, and who need to be told to relax. Right? And even then, there will be a slight percentage, a slight chance of someone getting injured. But that is not necessarily because of what they're doing in the session. How are they sleeping? How are they eating? What kind of stress are they going through in life? Have they had any kind of warm up? Did they miss the warm up before the session start? Did they miss the cool down the day before and the day before and the day before? So these are no. You have to understand that if you are leading a class, I have now been doing group classes and personal training for over 10 years now in the country. You have to understand that at the end of the day, the person that's coming to you is coming to you for 1 hour out of a 24-hour day. They are here for 1 hour. And then if they start getting a pain in their neck because of some movement they did overhead, because they didn't sleep well all night before and they didn't eat shit all day, and now they've come on an empty stomach, lack of sleep, caffeine hyped, and now they've pressed weight overhead and now their neck has started to get inflamed. Now they say, I did a dumbbell press, so my neck got inflamed. So Bilal's program injured me. No, Bilal's program did not injure you. It was your lifestyle that injured you.
The external factors that are involved.
So as responsible coaches, it is our responsibility now, as the population becomes more and more educated, as your access to them becomes more and more easy. You know, we're sitting here talking to each other in this mic. You have this phone, right? You use social media all day, scrolling up and down, talking about everything, right? You now have the access to educate the audience on things that can improve their risks of not getting injured. It's not just the program. Yes, there is a part of the program that has to hold some kind of standard. And if you are not holding any standard, then you will probably get injured. But other than that, there are also other responsibilities that the people themselves have to take. You can't just keep blaming the coach or the program or the gym, yaar.
Definitely. I completely agree to that. That is something.
And at the end of the day, यार, like I said, भाई, अगर इतना ही आपको अनसेफ कुछ चीज लग रही है, अगर आप उस माइंडसेट के साथ उस चीज में घुस रहे हो, तो आप मत करो फिर. आप कुछ और कर लो.
And I think you're a good example of, like the whole 8 year, I think 8 to 10 years, 10 years that you.
Yeah, but like I've been. Khalid hasn't competed. I've been competing in the sport as well, right? I've had injuries. Injuries are part of it, yaar. It's not like.
कौन से sport में नहीं होते यार?
Injuries are part of it, but like again, injuries. खुदा ना खास्ता, injuries are. There are some injuries that are very, very, chronic.
Yeah.
But then there are some which are part of the sport, which again, if agar hoti hain, then you should deal with them. You should deal around them. There are a lot of people that come to us with injuries that we don't allow to do the group classes. That's why we have the foundation. We assess them. If we feel someone is not ready to go to the group class, we say no. And they leave us. They don't become our members. That's a revenue lost for us. They go somewhere else and they take on that person. But we do try to be as... If you come to us and we feel you can't do a group class, we'll tell you to do personal training. Now that most likely you can't afford. Then you'll say, fuck off, man, I'm going to go somewhere else. And we'll say, go. But like, ये चीजें आप, you do what you can responsibly, but then there's a certain point where...
Makes sense. I mean, I like the concept of, like when you're putting on value for it, so then you have to look that that's the value being given.
Absolutely.
It's your decision to take it. I would like to turn the conversation a bit to your journey. When you started off, how you got introduced to CrossFit, how you were feeling about it, and how you progressed further, and especially when you got the chance to represent Pakistan on the CrossFit Games platform. How did that feel like, and how did you get there? And there was an athlete, Nazia, with you as well. So her journey, if you were training together, if you could just put some light on those things, really like it.
Yeah, I mean, Khalid was there when we got the ticket to the CrossFit Games. Yeah, it was surreal, man. Like, never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined to have qualified for the CrossFit Games and actually end up being there. I think when I started CrossFit, which was back in 2013, when I was living in Indonesia. That's where I was introduced to CrossFit. I immediately fell in love with the sport because of the community of it. I remember I used to go to the gym at Fitness First. So every day I would get out of the gym and I would drive back home. On this way was this literally the shed where I would see people just half naked, just doing some weird shit. And I I literally like for I think for 3 4 months I used to cross that place every day, and I never had the guts to walk in and say, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, but I would look at them every time when I would cross. And then I remember one day I was walking back home. So I was like, let me just walk in. And I walked in and I walked in and everyone was they were getting ready to do a class workout. It was a Saturday morning. And the gym, the name of the place was called CrossFit Equator. And I walked in and I was like, hi, I'm BT. What are you guys doing? And they were like, we're about to do a workout. I was like, oh, cool. Can I jump in? They were like, yeah. I was like, what's the workout? They were like, oh, there's like, we got to run and then we're going to do some pull ups and then we're going to do this thing called thrusters. And I was like, okay, I can run, I can do pull ups. I thought I was really fit because, well, I thought I was. I I think the first 400 meters I did, and then I got onto the pull up bar and I started doing those strict pull ups like a bodybuilder. And these guys started doing these kipping pull ups. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And it was just absolute chaos. It was just mayhem, right? And I I just immediately fell in love. I was like, this energy is just unreal, like unbelievable energy. And the next Saturday they had a competition, so I signed up for it, and just I never looked back since then. Fast forward 2018 is when I qualified for the games. Yeah, I think since that day I was like, I want to compete in the sport, and I didn't know how to compete in it. I had no idea. I had to learn everything myself. Luckily, I was introduced to my mentor and my coach and my one of my best mates, Gustavo, when I was visiting London. He became my coach, and we just trained really hard, and our goal was always to win the Open. That was it. We never aspired anything else. Like, at least I never did. And my goal was like, maybe I can qualify for the regionals someday. But then 2019, the rules changed that if someone won the 2018, if someone won the Open, they would qualify for the games. And I remember that was one of the toughest Opens I've ever done because the competition was stiff, and it is stiff now. There were people from all over the world representing Pakistan who you never knew, who you don't know, and then you just had to go and perform. So yeah, I remember like it was just surreal. Like I just never expected in my wildest dreams to do that, and but it was a very proud moment to do that. Unfortunately, I think like everyone else in smaller, not so mainstream sports, didn't get the right attention that should have been given so that a bigger impact could have been created. But I think that was one of the reasons why we're pissed off and we want to do the MatrixFit games now.
But that was surprising. I came up to you the other day, and we had the games. We had the MatrixFit games the next day, and surprisingly, because I was so concerned about the games that are happening tomorrow, I did not knew that the CrossFit Open games are upon us. And I actually shared that with you, and then when I found out, I was like, oh. So like I was like, we have the games, and then we have the MatrixFit games on the same. Was there like a reason that you guys had them on that day when the Open had started, or that was just a coincidence?
No. So the Open is 3 weeks long, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really, I mean, we don't have anything to do with the Open. The Open is on its own. Our goal is to have the games in Jan, Feb. That's the time when we want to do them every year.
And in Karachi, Jan, Feb, that's when the weather is
nice,
at its
You
best.
have to do it open air.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
from an athlete's perspective, because when I did the games, the MatrixFit games, because it was a Saturday, so I took the recovery for Sunday, and then on Monday it was the last day to submit. I did the WOD, I went 3.1, and I did it 2 times, actually, just to
Bro, you can't complain about the stuff. You know how many times I've done the open workouts just to get 1 rep more?
I would like to know.
I've done the day it's announced Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday 4 times just to get 1 rep higher every time. So I remember you came to me and you were like, "Oh my God, the Open's also this weekend." I was like, "So what?"
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, "Go home, recover, eat, and come back." Like, so yeah, don't worry about that stuff, bro. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the open timing and everything. It's just we have to see when we can plan the best way, we can make the right arrangements, we can get the right sponsorship sponsors on board, we can get the right planning done. So for us, that's the main goal.
I just wanted to ask you what had actually changed that year when you went to the Open. What actually had changed in the rules or something when you qualified? And that was the only year you had qualified, or was there another year that you went forward in the game and represented Pakistan?
No, so 2018 they changed the rules where they were like, whoever wins the CrossFit Games Open as a national champion will get a ticket.
And generally, it's through the 10% of subcontinent, the whole continent.
So generally, it's like right now, well, after that, what it's like is like you do the Open. If you're in the top 10% of your continent, then you go to the quarterfinals, which are going to happen in a week or two now. Then you do the quarterfinals. If you are in the top 30 in your continent, from the quarterfinals, then you go to the semifinals. And then the semifinals is like top 5 or top 3, I think, that move forward to the games.
Quite luck, I think, in that year.
Yeah, I got lucky. You guys should have worked harder. I don't think it as luck. I was working very hard, bro. What luck? You guys could have come and beaten me.
Back then, I think I didn't even introduce you.
Please don't give me these excuses now. Everyone that he got lucky, bro. Just come and participate. Why don't you? Right now, have you seen who's winning the Open?
Right now,
are you doing the Open?
I'm doing the Open.
What's your position?
I'm 8th at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just 23.3 took me by a surprise. Olympic movements are a bit of my.
Who's number one? Please tell me it's someone from Pakistan, like in Pakistan.
Yeah, that I found out later that people.
No, tell who's number one. Is it someone who lives in Pakistan? Who?
Daniel.
No, I heard Daniel is not number one.
Daniel is not number one.
Bas Ali was number one, but as soon as 23.3.
No, bro. Yesterday, Nazia was telling me Bas Ali is number one.
Well, then maybe Bas Ali just submitted the WOD right at the last end, and then Daniel became second.
Okay.
But they were just hand in hand. But Abbas Ali, he himself is not competing from Pakistan. He's registered from.
Yeah.
That's like, I didn't know you could do that.
All right, I think we have 5 minutes. The mate's dead. No, 5.
All right. So, just your general take at the CrossFit Games going on right now. We'll be following it. So, who do you think is gonna be termed as the fittest?
I'm not answering that question.
Come on. The fittest man on earth and the fittest woman on earth. Who?
Oh, the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
I thought when you were talking about Pakistan.
No.
Bro, I don't know. You can't really say. I'm a huge fan of Ricky Gerard. I'm a huge fan of Mal O'Brien. I'm a huge fan of Roman, the Russian dude. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. But it's always interesting to see these people compete, man. The things that these guys are doing is just unbelievable. Like it's just unbelievable.
Mal O'Brien, I mean, she's like surprising how she came up and how young she is and the records she's setting up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just I think everyone should just. Most people can't relate to them, which is fair, because that level is just. You have to understand that even when I was training for the games and I sucked at the games, I fucking sucked at it. Even then, I was training 7 hours a day for 6 days. And then I went and I fucking sucked.
7 hours a day.
Yeah, man. So I was doing
7 hours a
3
day.
sessions a day, 2 hour long. And then there was a recovery session before bed. So that was like my life, right? So the way these guys are performing, the way these guys, what they do is just, it's just so the general population shouldn't look at them and say, I want to be this, right? You have to be realistic in what goals you set, which is why we are trying to set up these local platforms, because they're realistic, like they're achievable, they're attainable. You have to start somewhere and then build up slowly and gradually, right? And the idea is that, for example, if you did pro this year, now the pro level is going to keep going up, just like the lights level is going to keep going up, right? So if you came third this year, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth, if you don't increase your performance, if you don't work hard, you're probably not even going to make the cut. You probably might not finish the workout like you did this time, right? So that's the whole idea, that you have to set achievable, attainable goals. And then, like I was saying, our partners that are working with us, they also have to come together with us to say, how can we contribute towards this process? Right? How can we be part of it? Right now, we're going to announce Sports in Pakistan and MatrixFit affiliated for the duathlon. And they approached us to affiliate with them. And I said, I don't want to just affiliate with you just for marketing. Oh, MatrixFit is an affiliate club of Sports in Pakistan. For what reason? What do you want from us? Tell us. What can we do for athletes to get better? So then we decided, okay, we'll design the warm-ups for them. We'll come and do the warm-up on the day. We'll provide some kind of strategies on our own for people. That way, what happens is that the overall industry or the ecosystem develops, right? So the same way now, what we want to do is we want people that we've worked with to come to us to ask us how we can work together so we can develop together. And I think that is how we'll see improvement eventually.
Yeah, because I was just looking at this, CrossFit and CrossFit Games itself. And for an athlete perspective, definitely CrossFit Games is something you would want to pursue toward. But CrossFit in general, for the general population, it's about, becoming the better version of yourself. As your journey, you could relate that, training all these years and, doing that mix of, like you having a past career of cricket, and then knowing that how all these factors come in play: the strength, the agility, the stamina, the endurance,
Yeah.
the power, the speed, and then knowing where you're lacking, just as a general person, not even as an athlete.
Absolutely.
How much that makes you connect with yourself, as not just mentally but physically, not just physically but mentally as well.
Both.
If
Yes,
you're not
absolutely.
you get to know where you are as an athlete or where you are as a general person. How much good performance do you have? So yeah, for general people, I feel like this is an amazing opportunity to realize how good of a performance individual they can become through this sport. Just last off, I just want to ask you in this regard that for the athletes who are competing in the games, so I think you guys had a CrossFit affiliation back in, I'm not sure when exactly.
Yeah, 2016, 17, 18.
16, 17, 18. And I think another chain, Ironbox, they also had an affiliate. But after that, those 3 years, in those 3 years, was that affiliation worth it in that regard, or it wasn't? So that you guys bagged?
I think the affiliation was more of a personal goal that I had. I just wanted to bring affiliation of CrossFit to Pakistan. That was more personal for me. Um, on the ground level at the gym, it really, other than that tag that you got, didn't really do much, because it's just a marketing play, right? At the end of the day, and plus it costs a lot of money. So
Yeah, that's a big
dollars
part.
too much, man.
But just as a question in general for the athletes who are competing, because we have the option of, when we're submitting the scores, we have the option of naming the judge, or if it's a CrossFit affiliate, we don't have to, like,
Yeah.
with the video you were.
Yeah.
But because at your time, you did not have an affiliate, right? That's how you went for it. You had.
We were affiliated.
You were affiliated.
Yeah.
So if you do not have an affiliate, and
You still have to record the video.
you still have to record the video. But if you want to move forward in the open games, would that submission standards and everything,
You still have to record the video.
Yeah.
Each of my video was approved by 4 people before they got approved.
So the question I'm turning is, if you were not if you're not doing your workout at affiliate,
Yeah.
just at a general gym,
Yeah.
and you submit your workout,
Yeah.
that would be counted as if you had your judge. But if he's not registered and you're recording the workout, would that workout be considered and you would move forward in that regard in the CrossFit Open Games?
No, bro, you have to get the video, you have to record the videos, and then you also have to get a judge that
Registered.
completes the test. Even if you're not an affiliate, you still need those 2 things.
Similar.
Yeah.
So for the athletes who want to move forward in this career, where do you suggest, like, over in the States you have boxes?
Bro, I suggest that they get in touch with whoever they aspire to learn from as a coach. They get in touch with them. That's step 1. Step 2 is they create an understanding why they want to do it, right? It's very important to understand why they're doing this. You can't just do it because it's cool or because he's doing it or she's doing it. You have to understand why you're doing it. Thirdly, start training with that coach or whoever it is that you look up to. And fourthly, try it out. Try out different things. Try out everything. Do the open. Do the games. Do the MatrixFit games. Do the any other competitions that are happening locally. Do everything. See how you do it repeatedly. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep getting better. Keep getting better. There's no you work hard. Like, just there's no shortcut. There's no like, do this step, and you'll get better. No, my journey was different than yours. You have to figure out your own journey. You have to figure out what you have to do. So
I think that's pretty much everything I want to cover. We've covered, and it was really nice having you guys, and I really thank you for making it over here.
Thanks for having us.
appreciate it, mate. Thank you.